Hi everybody, and welcome to Traveling with Russell, and welcome to an incredibly cold Moscow. Temperatures around about -17 today, so I thought we'd go indoors. And right behind me there's a brand new shopping center that opened literally 2 days ago, and there's a brand new electronics store in there. Now, I haven't done one of these walk-arounds for quite a while, so I thought I'd go and check out a Russian electronics shop. Also has a lot of appliances in there and home goods, so I think it might be interesting to see what's available in 2025. Is the PlayStation there? Is the iPhone there? Let's go check it out. If you're wondering where I am in Moscow, I'm actually very close to Botanetsky Skad metro station. You can just see the circular building in the distance right there. And this is a brand new shopping center that just opened. Actually, it's not even officially opened. They do what they call a soft opening. And then probably 3 or 4 weeks from now, they'll do an official opening with the balloons and cutting the ribbon. But there's a very interesting chain of electronic stores that are all throughout Russia in every city. It's called M-Video, and I think it might be interesting to go and have a look at a brand new one to see what they have to offer. We aren't going to go around the shopping center, we're just going to head on inside. I will have a video of the shopping center on the channel at some point before or after this one. We want to go see electronics. This is actually a really beautiful part of Moscow. It's in the northeast of the city, surrounded by a lot of parks and gardens, and thus the name Botanica for the shopping center. There is also a hotel connected to this as well, which is fairly new. And then over here, it's a little bit hard to see, there's a business complex that they've built at the same time as the shopping center. And I just noticed downstairs there's a Stars Coffee, which of course a lot of people know was Starbucks before. Let's go on inside and warm up a little. It's probably hard to get an idea of the size of the shopping center just from briefly walking around. It's built over 3 levels, and it has a very large glass domed roof right there. I will say it smells really nice in here. I think they've got those perfume sprayers that are going off, and this is what they call a soft opening. So they just open the doors and people wander in at their own leisure, and then there'll be an official opening a few weeks from now. And the place we want to go to is in the top corner. It's not downstairs here where all the ladies' fashion shops will be. All of us guys and ladies, we've got to head up into the bowels of the shopping center. It's really impressive when you come up to this top level, just because of the amount of light that these roofs let in. And then you can see the business center behind. And then quite a lot of the shops aren't open because they've got a few weeks until the official opening. Some shops will open for the soft opening, and then some will take time to open in the next coming few weeks. There is also an area that's going to be a food hall or food court up here. None of these are actually open. There is around about 10 cafes that are already open though. But you can probably see from here, again, just how big this place is. For a lot of long-time watchers of my channel, you know how distracted I get with food. And right next door to the electronics shop, there is actually a seafood cafe, and it's all open kitchen as well, which is really nice. There's a big seating area, and then they've got the actual seafood laid out right there, and then there's actually the sushi chef working in the back, and you can also get some different live fish as well. I'm getting distracted way too easily. This is where we want to go and walk around. Now, this is a rather big store, and this is very typical of all of the M-Videos that you go to. They are trialing a smaller format store, which focuses a little bit more on people ordering and then doing collection, rather than walking into a big box type store. And then what you do, you'd place your order, and then you can do collection. So you can order anything from their website, anything that would be in a traditional shop. But this is their full line M-Video store. There is a few interesting things that I'll point out that maybe you won't notice, or it might be quite subtle. Now, the one thing that's important, I am here on a Monday lunchtime, so people won't be in here shopping. People don't know the shopping centers are open. They don't officially announce it. Most people who would live nearby probably don't even know it's open. So that's why you see lots of staff in here and not so many customers. And that's really not the point of the video. Really, in reality, it's more to show what you can buy, what's available. They've got tablets right out the front and laptops. And there is phones. Now, there is quite a lot of phones that you can buy in Russia, and a lot of brands, and a lot of them are outright. They don't tend to focus too much here on plans, and a lot of people do pay as you go. So you just pay monthly with your phone provider. These shops are not pushing you to connect to a certain network and get discounts for the phones. Pretty much all the phones you'll see in this shop are all outright purchased phones. Now, the one thing that is interesting, which is what I'll point out straight away here, is they don't have any major branding of the phone companies, and they don't have any build-outs from the different brands that are quite noticeable. They've got all of the phone cases there, smartwatches, and at the moment, because of some of the challenges in the world, Apple and Samsung don't have their big fancy display at the entrance whatsoever. They do still have a presence here though, but the phones are not out of the boxes. So they just put the generic words on the signage, and you can get all of the brand new iPhone 16 Pro phones, iPhone 14. I'm not an Apple user, so I don't know their products, the watches. And then I actually have a Samsung phone. Now, they don't have the 25 because it's only released in the last week or so. I'm not sure if it's even fully officially released, but all of the 24 models are right there, the tablets. So it's really interesting. So you'll see all of the other phones are all out of the cases and you can touch and play with them. But the Samsung and Apple, you can't. Oh, well, they're in boxes and they're factory sealed. Now again, this is a brand new shop, and this opened, I think, not even a day ago. I always tend to find out the day after the opening, because they're having always soft openings. They don't really announce it, and they're not even encouraging of people who are content creators coming. So plenty of different models of phones, and more than enough choices of the different brands. Now, the one thing that's unique about this location of M-Video, this is their first ever M-Video cafe. Now, really, it's just seating. However, just over here on the right, you really won't notice it when you walk in the shop. There is a DeLonghi coffee machine right here, and you can make yourself a coffee. And they've got, you know, the cups and everything like that. And then you can happily sit down at their little cafe spot. They've got sockets. They've got nice comfy chairs. They've even got Type-C. And the plugs are right there if you don't bring your own wall plug. Conveniently, right next to it is all of the coffee machines. That's really handy. So they've got quite a big selection of brands of coffee machines. Tefal, you see there Smeg. And also they do have quite a lot of the different pod coffee machines. They even sell coffee in this shop. This has been quite normal for as many years as this company's been here. So when you buy a coffee machine, they want to add on the accessories, I think. These are some of the different pod coffee brands that you can get. I won't particularly focus on the pricing of things. However, if you want to pause the video, you could do that to have a look closely at some of the prices. These are all in Russian rubles, of course, and around about 100 rubles equals $1 US. So you can see quite a lot of the more inexpensive laptops here. Huawei, Asus. I think most of these are very recognizable brands. And then around the other side, more choices. So you're looking at $300, $500, and they go up in price, of course. You can jump from $500 to nearly $3,000. MSI. I think this is probably one of their gaming laptops. Thunderbolt. More Asus. If anybody knows some of these brands, it would be very interesting to let me know in the comments if you know about them. Thunderbolt. I always thought that was a cable that you plugged in. But they've got a laptop in any price point, and then all of the accessories, of course, that go with it. Even the tablets right here. I'm not too sure the brands. Huawei again. This one is Redmi. Made it this far into the video. Thank you so much for watching. Of course, I think a lot of people want to watch to see what's available in Russia in 2025. And being that this is a brand new store, they need stock to fill it. And they wouldn't have even opened the doors if they couldn't do that. But this place is here. By the way, I'm an Australian who lives here in Moscow region. This is on the opposite side of Moscow from where I live. This isn't anyway my local mall. It took about 2 hours to get here by public transport, but it's very easy and enjoyable. So I hope you enjoy this video. Sit back and relax, and I'll walk around a bit more of the shop for you. If you are from Russia, I think every person in the country knows MVideo as a shop. And really, for me also, it's the place that I would come to if I want to buy some kind of a home appliance or item. Of course, there is more than enough online shopping availability. But these sorts of shops, you come in, you get very nice service. The staff are incredibly knowledgeable about everything that you want to know. And you know, it's a very general electronics store, home goods store. So they have pretty much everything that you need, particularly these larger format stores. So you could come in and find something. These plug-in heaters. Not too sure how many people really buy these. Most people have central heating in their apartments, and even in older apartments as well. These air humidifiers. My wife wants to get one for our apartment. There's actually even some hot water services here as well. Air conditioning units. So you'd buy these, they would have some of them in stock, and then otherwise you can get them delivered nice and easily. It's not expensive for home delivery for products here in Russia. They can even tell you another location if you wanted one physically right now if it's not here. All of the shavers. And then hair dryers. Oral-B, the electric toothbrushes. This is what I got my wife for a present last year, one of these water picks. Have anybody got one of those? I've tried using an electric toothbrush, I just can never get the hang of it. I'm not really into it all that much. Vacuum cleaners. So again, you'll see the prices vary quite a lot. $50 if you want a basic one, $100, up to $300. You can pay any price you wish. We've even got the robot ones. Also different price points, different things that they do. And all of the stick vacuums. Now, it's an interesting fact. I actually brought the Dyson that we owned in Australia in my luggage to Russia. I just recently bought a new one, and then I moved over here and I thought I've got to bring it with me. How many stick vacuums do we need? Too many choices. It'll be interesting to read in the comments how this shop compares to your local electronics store or home goods store. And is there more choices? Is there less? They've got the steam irons right here. And then quite a few choices of the traditional ones. So all of the stock laid out. Over there are all of the hair curlers. And then these clothes steamers. I only ever used one of these when I worked on cruise ships. We had them for all of the clothing in the duty-free boutique. And that's it. Wonder how many people buy these in Russia. Has anybody got one? And do you get use out of it? Let me know in the comments. As we wrap around, it shows all of the other things that tie in together. Plenty of choices of ironing boards if you want one. Sewing machines as well. Lida. I wonder if these are Russian brands. Possibly they are. And you have a very large selection of washing machines. So some well-known brands, and then some probably local brands for some people. Toshiba. So you can see $450, $600. There we go. You can get one for $350. Now there is two sizes of washing machine that they have here in Russia. They've got the probably regular ones that you would see around the world, and then they've got slimline ones, particularly for people who live in apartments. And all of the pipes and accessories. Most people would buy washing powder in the normal supermarket. Hand steamers. Again, with most electronics that you can buy here in Russia, there is a very wide spread of prices that you can pay. So it's a matter of your budget, really. I mean, there's only 50 choices of washing machine. This might be a good example here of the different types, just looking at these top two. So there's this slim version, and there's these deeper, more traditional ones, depending on the size of your apartment or house. I know for our apartment we've got one of the slim ones because it goes in the bathroom. The one thing that you will notice here, or perhaps you won't notice, is there isn't tumble dryers. There is 2-in-1 washing machines, but people in Russia don't buy and use tumble dryers. And that's a very rare thing to see in someone's house or apartment. What a lot of people will do, they'll buy one of these metal frames and fold it out for their washing, and then put it on the balcony or in one of the rooms. Like now with winter, it'll dry just with the central heating in the apartment. And that's as simple as it comes. And we come over to ovens. Now, depending on the building you live in, it'll either be electric or gas. Any new build apartment complex throughout Russia doesn't have gas. These would really only be for traditional houses or older, more Soviet-aged buildings. More washing machines. So $800 for a Samsung one. Beko for $450. I think these might be tabletop dishwashers. Yes. These little mini ones. In our house, it's me that does that. Weighing scales. The other thing too, if I compare to Australia, I don't think we have this many choices of things. I mean, would we have 15 different weighing scales? I don't think so in the shops. So this is a full line home appliance shop, so there is absolutely everything. Always curious in these sorts of shops how much of the accessories that they sell. So you can get all of the utensils. So you can come and shop for anything for your kitchen. Then you come now to the other appliances. So what we'll do is we'll walk around and you'll get the full feeling of walking through the shop with me. These are range hoods. So we recently changed our kitchen and we actually bought our hot plate and oven and range hood from an M-Video closer to where we live, and we had it delivered actually the next day. It was we almost got home after it got delivered from the shop. There's even some coolers, and then these little small fridges. I don't think these are very popular in Russia. Some smaller apartments and studios it might be suitable, but people will still get large sized fridges even in small apartments. Plenty of choices of these range hoods. I'm trying to see which one we bought. Don't remember the brand name that we chose. So all of these are either gas or electric ovens, and then hot plates. So there's again something in all price points. It's just a matter of deciding what brand you might like or what style, what color. There's the integrated dishwashers down here. You're looking at $300, $350. And the different ovens. When we actually did our kitchen just recently, we took the kitchen plans that we'd got from the store that was doing our kitchen, brought it to the M-Video, very much like this one, and just showed them the sizes that we had. And the gentleman then put together a package of the 3 things that we needed. And it was as simple as that. We didn't go around playing with all the buttons and knobs. We actually had the guy recommend to us which one we should buy. And that was the easiest way to do it. And we were more than happy with what we've got and how it's ended up. Because when you come into these shops, you get very overwhelmed. You will find also the staff in these shops are not biased towards brands. So the salesperson we got, he wanted us to find something in our price range. He wanted to find something that was suitable for the size of the kitchen. We've actually got a mock one here, so you can understand how things fit. They even sell the knife sets as well. I mentioned to my wife yesterday that we need to get some new knives. My wife loves to do online shopping, and I much prefer to come into a physical shop like this and see things and look at things. And how many fridges do we need? Or choices of fridges. You can see it's actually quite well how they've put them by size. There is actually a freezer over there as well. And most people who would live in apartments in Russia won't have a separate freezer like a lot of people do where they've got traditional houses. There's just a whole corner of them over here of the fridges. One thing also I notice in Russia, they've got a lot more taller fridges, and I'm not sure if that's just a Russia thing or if it's anywhere else in the world. Please let me know. Again, all sorts of different brands, and then prices vary then depending on the size of the fridge and the style, but $300, $400, $500, $700. It's just a matter of which size you want, which color. And then you will notice there's very few of these double door fridges, because with apartment living, they're just not very popular and they don't fit most people's apartments unless you've got a larger place. It's not as big a seller as these just more traditional, 2-door fridge freezers. I didn't realize there was this many of them. My wife did spot one. We've not got a new fridge for our new kitchen because the one we had is perfectly fine. And my wife didn't see the point in us getting another fridge because the one that we have was absolutely what we wanted, and it works. I really hope you're finding this walk around interesting. For me, I'm always fascinated by coming to new places, particularly new shopping centers, new shops, because I'm interested in what they're able to fill the shop with and the stock and selection. And this is a prime example of what's possible in Russia in 2025. And you know, they could have opened with 7 fridges because that's all we can get in Russia. But instead they've got 50 different models. And I almost feel like these shops have too many choices. So I hope you're enjoying this video. And we come on over to all of the microwaves. I was actually in another M video yesterday with my wife. We finally went out shopping together. We don't often go out to the malls at the same time. And we have a microwave that's perfectly fine. And we came to have a look at them, and we press a button, it warms up food, and that's all we need it to do. And I'm not sure what all the other buttons ever do, but you can get microwaves, $80, $100. There's a fancy LG one here for nearly $400. How nice is this one? So yeah, they're very simple in what they do, and that's all that is necessary. That's what I think anyway. These mincing machines. Then we come over to the TVs. Actually, yeah, let's do the TV section. All of the kettles. And they've also got the water purification machines. You can get these installed under your kitchen sink. Toasters. So yeah, let's have a look at how many TVs there are. The only thing with my apartment is I'm limited to the size of the TV on the wall because we've got a feature wall where the TV socket is. So we're limited to what we can fit on that wall. So you have to shop by size. I know we did actually buy the TV mount from one of these stores as well. So there's lots of different types. So there is a mixture of brands. So there is some Russian brands, and then there's some, of course, imported brands at the same time. Haier, Hisense, TCL. Soundbars over there. Car stereos. Have a look. Pioneer car stereos are still a thing. They've even got some car accessories as well from Goodyear. And they've got plenty of TVs. Really, the size is such a factor. And then the price, of course, varies based on what size TV you want. 55 inch. I think these are all playing like the display mode. So you've got the YouTube, Disney, Netflix. So you can still pay for these accounts to work, and you can have them all still here in Russia. Grundig. I didn't realize there was that many different brands of TVs in Russia. And then as you walk around slowly, they just get bigger and bigger. I would love to get a bigger TV for our place. We love to watch movies And we just limited to the size of the TV that we can put because of the fact that it's wall mounted. And then there is Toshiba right here. I'm just trying to look at the brands as I'm walking around. I don't do any pre-planning when I film. I just walk around and look at everything, and simple as that. They do seem to have a program running that shows you the electronic price on the screen, which is super nice. They have an 85-inch Hisense TV here for 136,000 rubles, so just about $1,500. Samsung, that's a massive TV. I think the one I had in Australia was 65-inch, if I remember, and that was still large. These just get huge. I'd have to be against the back wall of my apartment to be able to watch it. You got all of the accessories. JBL, Sony, headphones. I think the more popular thing nowadays is all of these different earbuds and earpods. And the smart home things. So here in Russia it's called Alyssa, which I think is very similar to Alexa. And that's actually connected then with the internet browser program that you can see on the box right here. My wife has one in her nail salon, and she plays the music and the radio quite a lot. One thing you will notice in this particular store or in M-Videos generally, they don't have a lot of computers, because there's another chain of stores in Russia called DNS that has a lot bigger focus on computer parts, computer accessories, and they have some things in here but not all of them. PlayStation 5 for $700 US. I'm not sure how that compares. PlayStation 4, and then I did notice they've got the FC25 game for Xbox. And these sorts of games, you wouldn't necessarily buy them in here, although they do sell them. A lot of people would buy them from computer shops or from online resellers who would have more choices of games. So they have a little bit of computer stuff here, but not too much. They're not so well known for their computer items or accessories versus other chains of stores. So they've got all of the brands, I think, that everybody knows. And it's not perhaps as well known to come shopping for computers here as you would for things like fridges, TVs, and home appliances. How big are these boom boxes? Wow. Yeah. Computer printers. The only thing I don't have at my house is a printer. And I really don't get enough use out of it like I did in Australia to own one. They do have a few computer models though here. And computer screens. So again, the varying in price depending on the brand or the style and size. So if you are watching and you're from Russia, this is the only M-Video in the entire country that's got this cafe build out. Now it does look like sofas and tables and chairs and things like that, which it really is. But there is that coffee machine tucked away on the right hand side there. And the staff said that people can come in and sit down and use the tables and the plugs. I don't know how many people would do that. I think the staff will happily, though, make you a coffee to sit down and, you know, take a load off for a few minutes. There's quite a lot of things in here to take in. So I really hope this was interesting. And we found something that's a Russia first. it is quite a trending thing to have cafes in shops in Russia. And when you go to some of the ladies' clothing stores, they have them. In the kids' supermarkets, they've got them. And it's all about extending how long you stay in the shop, of course. You know, for me, I want to come in, find what I want, and get out. Whereas my wife would want to come in and sit down and relax as soon as she gets here. So as I walk on out of the M-Video, I hope you found this interesting. Their heating and air conditioning fans are blowing away. The actual shopping center is fully heated. And of course, being winter, it's a necessity to have that, but they've got heaters blowing in there as well. So it's even more warm and toasty. I really hope you found this interesting, and to show you what a brand new Russian electronics store looks like, or home appliance center. And especially right now in 2025. And you saw the only M-Video in Russia with that little cafe build out as well. So you're very much the first people in Russia or the world to see it, because there isn't another store that's got that exact build. So that's super interesting. I'm getting a little bit hungry. I just got a smell again of that seafood cafe. So I might gonna find somewhere to stop and have some lunch. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. That will be super nice as I try and find the escalator to go down. Post a comment. Let me know how this compares to a shop where you live. Of course, I didn't exactly focus on pricing, but you could definitely pause the video or watch it a little bit slower to compare some things and to show you the choice and selection right now in 2025. Yeah. If you want to follow me on Telegram, there's a link right here. You can click that. I do post photos throughout my day traveling and let you know about things that I'm up to. And if you want to watch another video, I'll actually link another electronics store that you can watch right after this. And you can keep traveling with Russell. Okay, everybody, I'm off on another adventure. Bye.